Yes, she did. Charlotte sent me a shirt. Should I wait for her to arrive here before we open it? I think I will. Also, where's my chat? Didn't start the stream correctly. Hold on one second. Dashboard, social stream. We should be good now. What am I doing? Wearing a jumper as well. It's too warm for that. Really didn't think this through, did I? Just went live. And thought, you know what? We'll just go streaming. Who cares? I've actually been kind of busy setting up for 2 days from now. Going to be doing some IRL content from the road skis. So I've been testing the Kilo View P3 Mini and just sort of setting up the vehicle. Hang on a second, it's too hot for this. Getting everything together, and it seems to be working pretty well. Actually, there is one thing that's a bit of a we'll see how that rolls, but there's been a little bit of an issue, and so if all goes accordingly, I'll be streaming from Govan for a few days, just do a little bit of a road trip. Yeah, gonna go down and got a gig in Canberra, and then gonna cruise around. I was might have cut myself too short here to do this, but I was gonna go and see. I was going to go and see somebody, but then I'm thinking I might not be able to get back in time because Claudia's coming down and blah, 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 bling. But we'll see how it all pans out. Either way, yo, Jake, how you doing? Thank you for the host. How you doing, man? On the D-Live machine, you might notice that there are some additional changes I've made to my About section in all of the platforms. There is a QR code there. That is a Starlink referral. That's right. I've reactivated my Starlink account for this IRL content. And the biggest way you could help me is if you know anybody anywhere on the planet who's thinking about getting Starlink, if you let them use my referral link, they get a month free. They get their first month completely free. And so do I. So it's a no-brainer, right? There's heaps of people signing up to Starlink. You might as well search for a Starlink referral code and let them use it. They don't even have to know me. They just use it and it pops up and you're using a referral, and there's no difference to the situation. I'll show you how it looks. Where is my referral? I'll show you. I guess we'll get it from, hey, keep it down. I guess we'll get it from, it's playing on kick. Hey, keep it down. Hey, keep it down. Keep me down. So we're going over to, I'm not on kick. I'm on Firefox. Hold on a second. That's a video we're going to watch later on. But what I meant to do was bring this down here. So if you go over to the Kick machine, go down, you will see a QR code here. Get free Starlink and help the channel. Now, when you click that link or scan that QR code, it takes you out to here and a little pop down. See that little pop down? Just came down right there. It said you are using a referral code. That's the only difference the viewer experiences when they click on my referral link. It just pops down. You are using a referral code, and you can go ahead and you can sign up to any of the Starlink products you want. And using that referral code, you get a free month and I get a free month. So you're helping me. Hello there, Shiloh Rose. Hey, by the way, you guys hear the alerts, right? I'm pretty certain you do. I watched the stream back the other day and there was one scene I was on where you weren't hearing alerts. Shiloh, hello there. We got ready to roll here. We'll crank that open. But I just wanted to show you that because I am going to be pumping. I saw my name and I'm finishing last clean of the day. Nice one, Shiloh. I'll hold off until you're ready. I'm going to be pumping that referral link all the time from now on. I'm going to be saying, hey, do you know anyone that needs Starlink? Anybody. It doesn't have to be a streamer. It can just be your friend at the bowling club. It can be your friend at the underwater crochet club. It can be your friend that you know from high school who's now 28 years older. It can be your friend who has a mother who's thinking about getting Starlink. It can be the son of the mother of the daughter of the father who owns the farm that's thinking of getting Starlink. It can be anybody. They don't have to watch this. You just send them that referral and they go, what am I doing with this? You go, you're going to sign up anyway. You want to get a free month? It's helping this one dude. You don't even have to know me. You don't have to know me. You don't have to like me. You don't even have to want. Well, you'll need to want styling. That's the minimum you'll need. H-Man's in the house. Hello, Shiloh. Shiloh, total sweetheart. I know the shirt. Nice one. Nice one. Yes, you do. Let me. I closed up the kick machine. I just wanted to check that those alerts are pumping out through the machine skins. Let me check it. Pause the. I don't want to get a little. It was made for Ben. This shirt was. I see. We see you gives it a minute. Just want to make sure you guys are. This shirt was. Hold on 1 second. Just want to make sure you guys hear that. We see you gives it a minute. No, you didn't. See, that didn't come through. So what have what have we done wrong there? We cranked it up for the stream call-ins. Max Farmer. Hello, Max Farmer, over on Trovo. How you doing, Max Farmer? We see you there, Max Farmer. Main loopback mixer. H-Man tech support. Yeah. I know what it is. It's a loopback setting. But I just didn't. I thought we set this. I mean, we set it up perfectly for call-ins, and that scene is slightly different, I guess. So let me just verify this. It's the browser send. It's a pass-through. Okay, it should be working there. It's a browser send. Interesting. I mean, I know how to do it. I know how to do it. Loopback. All right. You know loopback, Hendrik. I'll just re-add the I can just re-add. You know what sucks? You know what absolutely sucks about OBS? This is something that's sucked for so long. I can't believe they haven't fixed it up yet. If you've got many audio sources, right? And you only, let's say you've got like 20 different, I don't know, like you got Firefox, you got browsers, you got Stream Deck sounds, you got underlaying media playing, you got whatever it is, right? There's hundreds of different things that have an audio source, yet you only actually need maybe 3 of them for the stream: microphone, browser, and alerts. So those are the ones that you unhide in the mixer, so that when you glance down, you can just see the 3 that you need, right? You don't need all 20 of them if hardly any of them are being used. They're just taking up real estate. So why isn't there a toggle that you can just go into the mixer and toggle, I want to see this one and I don't want to see that one? Why is it a view and unview or hide and unhide? Because right now I want to go back in and check one that I didn't think I needed, and to get to it, I've got to unhide all. So then all of a sudden the whole thing populates with all the audio sources. Then you've got to go in individually and mute the ones you don't want again. It just seems like a cumbersome way of showing all of your active audio sources. You should be able to say, and it puts it right in the audio mixer there. It should just be a secondary area where it pops up, so you can go, okay, I need to see that one, I need to see that one, I need to see that one. And then you close that window. But instead it's the actual mixer. Note to Benon, never update, it works now. It isn't working though, right? You didn't hear that alert, unless I haven't made a change yet. You didn't hear it, you didn't hear that alert, right? You did not hear that. I mean, you heard it through my, you heard it through my Kansas. You didn't hear that alert, right? You did not hear that. I mean, you heard it through my. No, you didn't. So what are you talking about? I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to never update it. But there is a new update to OBS that just rolled out today. I didn't update that. Of course, I did not. What do I need here? I've got to unhide all of them to find it. So lame. Botrix loyalty alerts, monitor only. Monitor and output is what we need. Now, check this out. Check this out. You'll be able to hear that.
We see you gives it a minute. We see you.
Now, check this out. Check this out. You'll be able to hear that. We see you gives it. See? See? By the way, I've got this thing on my neck. See that little beautiful piece of flesh that's looks like it's being eaten? You know how that started? This started, and you know when this started? This started about 10 years ago. You know what it is? I had a pretty cheap guitar strap, and it's right where the guitar strap goes across my neck. It used to cut into my neck. I've had that as more or less an open wound for about a decade. Just then, when I took the Kansas off, it fell down. It landed straight on that spot. And I was like, fuck, that stupid little... Ugh. I think it's bleeding there. Yep. Fucking hell, man. Just this tiny little... We see you gives it a minute. We see you there on the... we see you there, bleeding neck of opportunity. I'm on OS 10. OS X 10. Driving home, but DB missed the GoPro mark by not doing a dishwasher video. It went viral for some lucky chap recently. Forget sharks and jets. Someone put a GoPro in a dishwasher and it wasn't Danny Black. I understand what you're saying from that. I didn't see the video, but that's a pretty damn good idea. We've always wondered what goes on in that dishwasher when the door closes, right? Like, how do those little people get in there and scrub that shit so hard and clean it off? I want to find out how the guy turns the light on and off in the fridge too. That's a good GoPro video. Damn good idea. I mean, that is a pretty good idea, but you know what's better than that? 10 tricks that you didn't know about the GoPro Hero, insert number here. The best settings for the GoPro, the best set every year. It's this. I haven't looked at his channel for a long time because I just know what I'm going to see. The same shit with a different number. What's the Hero up to? I've got a current day GoPro, Hero 13, and August. It's April now, a little whiles away, but there'll be top 10 best tricks and tips for the GoPro Hero 14 Black Edition. Top most sought after settings for the GoPro Hero 14 Black Edition. Tricks you didn't know for the Hero 14. Just go back in his channel and just copy the same shit, change the number 13 to 14. You got a new video. How about this for a revolutionary idea? How about you bloody well use the GoPro? Instead of just making the tech video about what it does, how about you actually use it? I use these, that's why it's right next to me. I use these every single time I go surfing. By the way, top best tip for the GoPro Max Lens Mod: when you get water beads, you got to burn the factory. It's like a little sheet, like a little covering that covers it. It's supposed to be the water repellent covering. You burn that off, and if you do it uncarefully, like I did on this one, you also burn the edge of the Max Lens Mod. That's an unburnt one. That's a burnt one. Also, another top 10 best tricks to have your GoPro experience more flavorable. You want to invest in, I've got it right here, funnily enough. You want to invest in this. This is the Contacto Magneto Doro. What that does is it snaps on like that, and then it's USB-C, and you can dump your footage into your GoPro, into your laptop using the OpenMTP little software app there. That mimics your GoPro becomes an Android phone, and you can send files that are larger than 12 gig across, because the GoPro Hero 13 Black Edition sends segments of footage at the 12 gig mark. And so that's what you need, the Magneto Door. But the top trick is, when you're cleaning your GoPro after surfing, if you actually use your GoPro, that is, I mean, Danny keeps his pretty pristine because he doesn't actually use them. If you were using them, when you're rinsing them with water, get a toothbrush that you don't use and just rub the toothbrush on the Contacto Magneto Door, on the part there that connects, and you'll find that this one always makes a solid connection, and when they're dry, they're nice. And you know what the best thing about this is? You never have to open the GoPro. My GoPro is sealed from the day I bought it. SD card battery in there, sealed. I never opened that, never opened the door. Charge it from here, dump footage across from here. Top 10 best tricks wherever the GoPro Hero 10, 14, 13, 11, 12, 14. Black Edition. Danny doesn't like me anymore? Danny doesn't like you anymore? Well, you're not I don't know, you're not buying GoPros, are you? Like, I can't believe after all these years he hasn't got a hookup with them. He buys his shit. He buys his GoPros. I don't understand that. Like, didn't he have Emma working for him in the business side of it? Maybe she needs to be fired. Get a new assistant. No, you can't do that. Shiloh, you're on your way home, aren't you? I'm going to wait till you get home. But what I'm going to do is, at the moment, there is a absolute smashing occurring on the east coast of Australia. We are getting thumped with huge swell. Like, oh shit. It is big, real big. Too big for there's nobody surfing. No, I mean, it felt like Nazare when I was out at Penguin Head this morning looking at it. It was just massive walls of water, just a beautiful scene of huge waves, like both on the southern side and on the other side, the northern side of Penguin's Head, coming into the beach here. The whole place is just a big white wall. It's all a mess. I actually did a stream this morning. I did a test stream from GoVan, and I parked up there at Penguin's Head and just watched the swell coming in when I was testing the KiloView P3 Mini. Touch wood, things work accordingly when we need it to. It's kind of working okay. Anyway, I also went out and shot a little video. And so for today, instead of rolling a surfing clip, because there's no one surfing, here is about 9 minutes of raw, open footage, no editing, just this is what the shit's going down like. And you will see how freaking big this is. This is going to roll full screen. I'm going to be with you in the chat. I'm going to go and get a coffee. Take a look at this ocean and tell me two things. Tell me you think, in many ways, when you watch this footage, it feels like the waves would be somewhat easy to surf. They're nice, slow rolling, open faces. Counteract that with, holy shit, the paddle out you would not be able to paddle out through that. Not a chance. You'd have to jet ski. There's no way you could paddle out. And then to paddle onto one of those, you'd be shitting yourself. I'm not saying I could do it, but I'm saying that it's like a bit of a tease, because when you look at it, it's not like watching a sucky suck up 2.5 foot shore dump that's just thumping on the sand. These are big open face rolling waves that wind up, barreling, and the wind's howling, and they just look a little bit, everything looks a little slower because everything's like 20 times bigger. So take a look at this, and I'll be with you in the chat. I'm just going to go and grab a coffee, but this goes for about 9.5 minutes. Check it. It's the 1st of April, 2025, and there is some pretty impressively large swell here at Penguin's Head, Culburra Beach. Take a look at this. Whoa. That is massive out there. It's windy. The swell's massive. Look at this. Too windy to film. The sea spray is coming up here right in front of us. Let's go on this side. Damn. Let's take a look on this side. Oh. Oh, look at this thing. Oh. Getting to get smashed. Damn. Next one's bigger. Kind of don't really feel safe standing here. It's weird that you can feel it. You can feel the movement underneath it. I don't like it. I'm out. Just so big. Look at this coming in out the back here. Holy shit. It's forming up. Damn. Slow moving, huh? Slow moving until, yes. Wow. Saying to these guys that were here before, it's like a bit of a tease because, you know, slow, it's like well and truly out of everybody's league, but it just looks so rideable in a way, but not. Damn. Ooh. There it is, folks. April Fool Day 2025. A lot of crew. Check it out. We'll go view across to the south. And that's how we'll leave it. Wait, once more through here. Just through this gap here. Well, apologies there for the little hiccup there, folks. I walked away for a second to get a coffee and looked back and saw the internet was off. The internet was off. Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't know why. The weather's been shithouse. We have fiber to the premises and never really had any issues before. There was a little weird stuff going on yesterday. Oh, yeah. That's going to be way too hot. But how about the size of that? Well, and then I just looked back up at Beam and noticed that for some Beam reason, D-Live was off. So I had to go and turn D-Live back on. That's why there was all that glitching. Just annoying, right? I just want to stream. I don't want to have to fuck around. I need a tech help desk. No, I don't. By the way, just a little heads up for the IRL content that's coming soon. You guys are all going to have to use the Beam chat. Yo, Perdsky. No, that's not Perdsky. That's Paul. G'day, Ben. Did the surf survive the massive tidal surge? Huge. I don't know what surfer you're referring to. Yeah, I don't know which surfer you're referring to. Was there someone that got stuck or something? I mean, you'd have to be pretty... There's only a handful of people on this planet that would surf those waves. I mean, not a handful, probably a small couple of hundred people that are... There's probably a couple of hundred people that would be confident out there. Yeah, I don't know any of them. There's probably people flying into Australia right now to catch that swell tomorrow. There's probably surfers coming in on the back of the knowledge of that are flying here to do that tomorrow. It's the NBN. Off is an understatemento namondo. So what I was going to say is, yeah, so for these IRL streams coming up, you guys are going to have to be in the Beam chat. Oh, wait, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm going to turn on the Beam chat to bring in all the chats. Because I don't have, there's currently no way to have on-screen alerts and like browser source URLs and chats and everything. There's no way to do that because the platform that I used to use are now, they've changed all their just to cut it really simple, the subscription I used to subscribe to is now no longer valid, and the one that they've replaced it with doesn't allow RTMP ingest of a camera source. So you can go live using their software, but you have to use your phone camera. Paul says, go back 6 minutes. There was a guy riding. There was no one out there, dude. There was no one out there. So you can't, yeah. So there is no affordable solution to currently at the moment to have a RTMP ingest of a camera for IRL streaming that allows browser-based, like in browser. So you don't need to have OBS running at home. I'm talking about this is running in a browser that allows browser URLs for chats and on-screen overlays. They don't exist. Sorry, they exist, but they're very expensive, and I'm not willing to pay a couple of hundred. One's close to 1,000 for the year. I'm not willing to do it. So there'll be no chat. There'll be no alerts. It'll just be the stream in full screen, and I'll be able to read the chat off scene. That's how we're going to do it. Right now, though, we're going to roll into whatever this video is. We've had this lined up for a while. Christy Noam sends chilling warning to criminal aliens. Okay.
Here at CCAT today and visiting this facility. And first of all, I want to thank El Salvador and their president for their partnership with the United States of America to bring our terrorists here and to incarcerate them and have consequences for the violence that they have perpetuated in our communities. I also want everybody to know, if you come to our country illegally, this is one of the consequences you could face. First of all, do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed and you will be prosecuted. But know that this facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use if you commit crimes against the American people.
So they're in jail. Chilling music plays. Is this all this is? Sensationalist music? I can't watch this shit, dude. Seriously? Is this reporting? Okay, I can't watch that. Can't watch that. What else have we got here? Wait for this to load. Douglas Murray blasts left's ad blockers. Dude, what? Do you know what I've discovered recently? I am getting a lot of clunky. I think I might need to do a complete reinstall of everything, like a fresh install of Mac OS. Heaven forbid, I might have to upgrade from Hendrik. Don't listen to this. What am I on? Monterey. I'm on Monterey. That was from 2021. I bought this MacBook in 2021. Dude, this is getting quite old, but I don't want to, I mean, I don't know, I don't need to but I am getting a little bit of, it's not worth updating from, but there are some times when I'm like, is this thing stuttering? Do I need to reinstall everything? I know what'll happen though. I'll go to do that and it'll say you have to install Mac OS Sonora or whatever the new one is. And I don't want to do that. What's this?
Well, there are signs of the left's love of violence apparent again. It's really never been far away. We saw it with the BLM.
She's the bitch that shot her dog? This girl? For barking. More shit from Dale, I'm afraid. I wasn't critiquing the content. I was critiquing the lousy reporting. Just extreme music with wording. I just hate all that. I mean, come on, man. Put it together.
The violent anti-Israel protests on university campuses, and the latest project seems to be attacking Teslas, Tesla cars, Tesla dealerships, due to their hatred of Elon Musk. And Douglas, I've got to say, those who should know better continue to rationalise what some are calling domestic terrorism.
Someone threw a Molotov cocktail at a Tesla service center. At least 5 Teslas blew up. When you pull out a chainsaw to celebrate firing thousands of people, they get mad. It's just,
Let's send these techno-fascist, oligarchs, and old-fashioned Nazis a message loud and clear.
The vandalism really shows the outright anger and rage that people are feeling about what Elon Musk is doing.
Douglas, they almost hate Elon Musk more than they hate Donald Trump these days. And this derangement, because it's not just disagreement, they want to see him destroyed.
I hope Elon runs. If he runs, that would be interesting. Can he run? Can Elon Musk run?
They do. It's a rather strange turn for people from a political wing that talks about how much they love the environment so much and how they want to protect the environment
fully,
to be setting light to anything and burning it down, setting light to cars that run on renewable energy. That's a really great way to say I heart the environment, isn't it? But yes, I mean this any political side can do this, but it's extremely dangerous stuff when you start to say like that, well, if you cut federal spending.
Elon cannot run. He's South African. I mean, he was born in South Africa, but isn't he an American citizen? Do you have to be born in America to run? I didn't know that.
You can't expect people not to firebomb things. I mean, really? We're going there? Why this desire to legitimize totally pointless, destructive political violence? I can only assume that some of these people are people who are very bored, as well as very unpleasant indeed. They want a great cause. They spent years, as I said earlier, saying that Donald Trump was Hitler. Now they've decided, in fact, Elon Musk is Hitler, which means
You have to be born there. Okay, thanks, Hendrik. I hope Elon cannot run. I'd love it if he did. I think it'd be. I think all this stuff would be. This just is crazy, right? People smashing up Tesla dealerships because they don't like what Elon's doing. It's like I said the other day. It's just childish. It's like these are the antics of schoolyard bullying.
To burn the cars or something, or flip the finger.
It's caveman. It's caveman. We have no fire. They have fire. Let's take fire. Go over, take fire. You know what I mean? Like it's the very base level response. We not like what he does. Smash. Right. That's the level of intelligence there. Me not like it. Me smash.
To people driving a certain type of...
Me smash anything to do with him. We don't like what he does. But you're not smashing him. If you're going to make a point, make the point to him, not to someone that's loosely related to him by virtue of buying his product. What did the person do? He bought a vehicle and you now smash up his vehicle? What the hell are you doing, you idiot?
Of car. Again, nothing shows moderation and be kind better than just swearing at your neighbors because they've got a car whose company is founded by a man whose political views you disagree with. I mean,
yeah, it's
astonishing, but again, this...
It is. It's crazy world we live in. Elon repurchased Twitter under Elon AI. Greed much? Repurchased Twitter. Elon repurchased? No, he purchased it. Greed much? We're not allowed to buy things as AI ourselves. Are you saying he used AI to buy Twitter? I didn't hear about that. So he didn't even buy it. He used an AI bot to purchase it? No, he repurchased it the other day. He rebought it. So he bought it off himself? So Elon sold Twitter to an AI bot? He rebought it as AI Elon. For what purpose? That's a bit strange. Repurchased to himself. Okay, interesting. What's the idea behind that? For money. It says, but who gets the money if it's the AI? That's weird. I don't know anything about that. That certainly sounds something. That sounds like is that a loophole he's working on there or something? Dodgy? You think it's dodgy? I mean, if it's a tax evasion, I mean, there's plenty of those out there that people do. Donating to a cause to lower your tax. Sounds dodgy. Just saying. There could be more to it. I don't know about that, though, but that's interesting.
This is deadly. This is kryptonite for the Democrat Party. And for people like that guy who you showed at the beginning of that clip, he's meant to be, by the way, a late-night comedian. I don't know about you, but I mean, nothing he said or says is remotely funny. He's just one of these weird new clerics who appear on American television who were hired as comedians and then come out and give a boring lecture and excuse violence and think that will get them the big laughs. And we'll see. And that's one of the reasons why people are turning off those programs. But it's quite sickening to see that. Because if Republicans did that and said, well, you can only push people so far before they start executing you, I think we'd all think that was a bit rum.
I think we would. I think that we would. We saw a riot on January 6th and they were bleating about it for 5 years. So if... But violence from their side, they seem to rationalise very easily. And you're right about those late-night comics. There's a reason why their ratings are in the toilet is because there's very few laughs. There's just lectures, and Greg Gutfeld is the big beneficiary there. Now, talking about celebrities, we've seen a number of them threaten to leave the US if Trump won. And One of them, I've got to give her credit, she followed through with it. Rosie O'Donnell is now a resident of Ireland, and she started spreading election denial there.
I question why the first time in American history a president has won every swing state and is also best friends, and his largest donor was a man who owns and runs the internet. So I would hope that that would be investigated.
Sorry.
Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums with people.
Sorry. Did she just say his best friend owns and runs the internet? That's a stretch.
Largest donor was a man who owns and runs the internet.
Hey Siri, who owns the internet?
The internet is the global system of interconnected computer networks that uses the Internet Protocol Suite to communicate between networks and devices. That was from Wikipedia. Should I keep going?
Yeah, but who owns it?
Interesting question.
And how dumb is Siri? That's Apple AI. Could you get that? Did you hear that? She tells me what the internet is, and I say, yeah, but who owns it? And she just says, interesting questions. Like, is that it? You don't have anything more than that? You're a real smart help intelligence here. Oh man, I tell you, the Apple, if we want to tangent off here, Apple have lost the plot with Siri. It never really had it to begin with, but whatever it did have a small grasp on, it's gone so far downhill. Like, do you guys remember when I used to try asking it about how many days in the month or something? Remember there was this weird glitch where if you asked it how many days are there, I can't remember the specifics of it. There was something that was so dumb, and you had to word it in this exact manner of wording for it to get close to the correct answer. Well, now it seems like because it's got AI, or it's somehow being sprinkled with a little AI on top, like a little seasoning, it's just gotten stupid, right? Like, so dumb. I wish I could remember what that command was.
So I would hope that that would be investigated. Kamala Harris was filling up stadiums with people who supported her, and Donald Trump was not able to do that.
Is she questioning the election results? Because Donald Trump won absolutely landslide this time, like complete landslide, land swiping, the swipe of the land. Setting timers, Hendrik, that's pretty much what Siri's good for. I mean, the simplest of things, right? Yeah. Oh, was it? Hey Siri, how many days in July?
There are 31 days in July. This answer is from SaturdayGIF.com. For more, say open this on iPhone.
I don't give a flying fuck where you got that from. Why do you have to give me all that extra bit? Oh, this is one that I won't get. Hey Siri, what day was? Hey Siri, cancel. I was gonna. I messed the command up, but I want to ask it what day was. What particular day of the week was a date in history? So let's get my phone out and I'll just check. So let's just go back a random. Let's go to 2020. Scroll back to whatever this is. This is November 2011. Let's go the 5th of November 2011. It's a Saturday. 5th of November 2011. Hey Siri, what day was the 5th of November 2011? Of course, now it answers on my phone because I'm holding it. How dumb is that? I mean, okay, maybe not dumb, but we were asking the HomePod, but because I touched my phone, it thinks I want it there. Hey Siri, what day was November the 5th, 2011?
It was Saturday, the 5th of November, 2011.
Okay, it got that. Okay, then let's ask it a forward-facing date. Hey Siri, what day of the week will be the 29th of August, 2036?
It's Friday, the 29th of August, 2036.
It's a Friday. Okay, so they've programmed that in. That's smarter than it ever was. Is today April 1? Yes. Shiloh, Trump and Rosie have had issues 20 years back when he called her a fat lesbian when she was on the View talk show. He did? He did? You got a link for that? Trump calls Rosie O'Donnell a lesbian, a fat lesbian nonetheless. Trump calls Rosie O'Donnell. That was pretty easy. 9 years ago? Oh, whoa, no. No, I saw it here. Trump calls Rosie O'Donnell a fat-ass ugly pig.
Well, Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out. You take a look at her, she's a slob. She talks like a truck driver. Rosie attacked me personally because I was very happy when her talk show failed. The other thing that failed, and this was a real monster, and everybody was suing her, was her magazine. Her magazine called Rosie was a total disaster. So I loved it. I gloat over it. I think it's wonderful because I like to see bad people fail. Rosie failed. I'm happy about it. She's basically a disaster. Well, she called me a snake oil salesman. And, you know, coming from Rosie, that's pretty low because when you look at her and when you see the mind is weak. I don't see it. I don't get it. I never understood. How does she even get on television? I believe Barbara made a terrible mistake putting her on, and I think Barbara's probably paying a big price. If I were running The View, I'd fire Rosie. I mean, I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired. We're all a little chubby, but Rosie's just worse than most of us. But it's not the chubbiness. Rosie is a very unattractive person, both inside and out. Rosie's a person that's very lucky to have her girlfriend. And she better be careful or I'll send one of my friends over to pick up her girlfriend. Why would she stay with Rosie if she had another choice? She's trying to use ABC and The View to get even with me. But with me...
So this does sound like tit for tat, like she did something, he's responding, but he's letting fly, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is obviously before he's president, but...
Back. I'll probably sue Rosie because she doesn't tell the facts. As an example, I'm worth many billions of dollars. Now, she said I was bankrupt. I never went bankrupt, so probably I'll sue her because it would be fun. I'd like to take some money out of her fat ass pockets. I actually think they ought to look at her whole life and see where she's coming from because I think she's got some very deep-seated problems. Perhaps it should be Rosie that goes to rehab. Rosie is a loser. These are Trump cufflinks. Do you want them? I'll give you a set. Rosie's a loser. What a slob. Forget it. Rosie, who had many chances, and, you know, when you look like Rosie, you have to have a lot of chances. It's not easy. And she called me a pimp because I own beauty pageants. I mean, Rosie lies. She said I went bankrupt. I never went bankrupt.
Definitely tit for tat. I mean, he's calling her ugly. You're not the most handsome looking... You're a strange looking dude, Trump.
My friends went bankrupt. I never went bankrupt. I think Barbara will eventually fire Rosie. She can't stand Rosie. Now, Barbara's going to deny that, and I don't care. I mean, you know, maybe Barbara will never speak to me again. She didn't tell me to keep it quiet or I would never reveal that. But during my conversation with Barbara, she called me last week. She said, Donald, I got to put up with it. I can't stand it. I hate it. Now,
it's been a long war between them. Okay, this is news to me.
Eventually, she'll get rid of Rosie. There's no question in my mind. And I hope you save this clip because eventually Rosie will be gone from The View. Hey, I'd like to lose 15 pounds, okay? But
he's kind of repeating himself there. He already hit that, but yeah. Okay, so... Did we hear? Where were we here?
Elon apparently owns and runs the internet now, and Kamala was hugely popular, so we need an investigation.
Yes, that's right. And one of the ways you can tell that Elon Musk runs all of the internet is that there are never any negative pieces or a negative comment about Elon Musk on the internet. So,
good point.
As ever, Rosie O'Donnell is as sharp tact as she ever was.
So she left the States. She made good with what she said. If Trump gets elected president, I'll split. But mind you, will she just come back when 4 years are up, or will she just say no? I'm gone for good.
So remember, this is another comedian, by the way. Remember, Rosie O'Donnell. She's hilarious, isn't she? I mean, you can just feel your face cracking up with the humor whenever Rosie appears and opines on the world. As for Donald Trump not filling up stadiums, I mean, that's just bizarre.
He didn't really need to fill up stadiums though. He needed to fill up the ballots, and he filled up the ballots more than Kamala did.
Because of course, I mean, I've been to Trump rallies. very much filled up stadiums, very much filled up Madison Square Garden in New York and countless other places across the country. Here's one of the problems, of course, for the Democrats. Again, they can be pulled leftward by these now self-exiled comedians like Rosie O'Donnell, who, by the way, probably is having a kind of breakdown because Donald Trump was very largely elected in 2016, very largely won the Republican nomination to run for president because of his line about Rosie O'Donnell, which just got huge laughs and was hugely appreciated by people across the country.
Wait, was that the line that he delivered in that speech there? She's fat? That's what he ran on? Really?
But
Charlie, I think Rosie should be more focused on her grandchild than her daughter abused and neglected due to drugs. Ooh. Interesting. Maybe she should be more focused on that. I'd agree.
Rosie O'Donnell and co, if they're going
And by the way, she's left America, so what does she care now? She's rescinded her rights. Like, don't let it go, girl.
Do this stuff. What it really is a demonstration of denial. What the Democrats and others should face up to is that Donald Trump was and is extremely popular. He won the popular vote because he's popular.
Fully.
He filled up stadiums because he's popular.
Fully.
Sure, Kamala Harris could fill the odd hall. No one is disputing that. But if you've just lost an election to somebody, you don't pretend, or you shouldn't pretend, that that person has no popularity behind him. What you should do is work out why he's got it, see what you can do to adapt to the world that you're in, and see what you can learn. See if there are policies that you might learn from.
Who cares about her, though?
Instead of claiming that...
Why are we talking about her? Like, she's just a comedian who's just evacuated the States. Like, do we even care? Like, she's gone, right? I want to open this package, Charlotte. Are you driving still, or are you back? Are you home? I want to open this package. I know what it is, but I want to open it. You're home now. Okay, cool. I also want to have a look at this Billboard Chris situation in Brisbane. You guys probably know what's going on with that, but there's a story here. Billboard Chris speaks out after being forcibly removed by police in Brisbane. So let's take a look at that in a moment. But before we do, thank you, Charlotte. Hendrik's questioning the package, or questioning that Billboard Chris story? How much did Hendrik have involved in this? Should I be thanking both Hendrik and Charlotte here? And also, take a long look at this T-shirt, because it's going to go on the bottom of my T-shirt pile, and from whence we see it next, could be a couple of years. Woohoo! Yeah. Yep. Look at that. This was the T-shirt that I wanted to get at the gig the other day. I love it, hey. It's just cheeky. It almost looks like a troll graphic, like that could come in the chat as a troll. We should make that a little emote, just that lucky horse. Yeah, I dig it. And Portia will like seeing that on me too. But by the time I get to it, should be too old to think it's cool. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, H-Man. Thank you, Peter Bibby. Very cool. That will go onto the bottom of the T-shirt pile. And the next time we put a pin in this, it is April Fool's Day 2025. When do we see this shirt again? When it makes its way from the bottom of the T-shirt pile all the way to the top. So let's move on. This Billboard Chris situation. So this guy, just for those that don't know, this guy, Canadian, I believe he's from Vancouver, and he stands in public places with a placard, a billboard, front and back. He wears it like a there used to be a dude, where was it? It was like coming into Walleye Creek on the Princes Highway. There used to be a dude that stood there on the side of the road with like a wizard hat, like a "you shall not pass," that kind of wizard hat, and he had the same, like a placard, and it used to say UFO, the second coming of Scientology or something. But what this guy does is he has his placard that reads, children cannot consent to puberty blockers. And his point here is that people that are of such a young age shouldn't be getting puberty blockers and transition surgery to go from male to female or female to male or whatever it is. And so he just stands there in public spaces and then engages the conversation with people. And I saw this come up on Twitter. This is about a week and a half ago now, maybe 2 weeks. He flew into Australia and went to Brisbane and was in the Brisbane Mall. I don't know the one, but Hendrik, you'll know it, I guess. It'll come up here. And he got arrested. He was told that he was told that he was hindering the thoroughfare or something like that, something to that effect, like blocking the passage of people. And he's like, well, I wasn't. I'm standing over there. I'm away from the thoroughfare. People are approaching me to talk to me. They're not having to stop to go around me. I'm just off to the side. And they said, you can't do that. You're going to have to move from here. And he said, well, I don't agree with that. This is the freedom for me to stand wherever I want. It's a free world. And they said, well, if you don't leave this mall area, we're going to arrest you. So he got arrested. Yo, Clay, how you doing, man? Hey, what's going on? Good morning, Clayskis. How you do, man? Good to see you. So this looks like this is okay. So even this is 5 days ago. I thought the chat was broken. Did you? No, it's not. There might be a bit of a lag here. Is there a latency? Like I'm saying this now. When do you hear it? Put in the chat when you hear it. I'm saying things. Okay. What's 4 + 4? 8. I put 8 in the chat. When did you guys hear it? I don't know. Like I feel like there might be a little lag going on. Still waiting for the 8. I put the 8 in, but no one else has put it yet. Okay, so there is about a 10-second lag. You need a great big kiss, Shiloh. Well, why don't you hug your baby? Kiss your baby. What's the Trump comment with the baby? Hug your baby. Is it baby?
Grab your baby.
Grab your baby. You need a great big kiss. Did I miss that? What's going on? Did I miss... No, I didn't miss anything. Okay, let's move on. Billboard Chris situation.
Speech in our country. I'm going to show you footage from Brisbane yesterday that you won't believe. Also a warning, one photo that some people might find disturbing. Chris Elston is known online as Billboard Chris. Huge following. He's a Canadian who for 4 years.
I don't like the way this guy presents. Isn't it funny? Like I can turn off the story almost immediately when it's the presenter that doesn't work for me.
This is campaigned against giving children chemicals to stop puberty, so they can.
Oh, sorry, I talked over that. This is him telling what it is better than what I can.
Elston is known online as Billboard Chris. Huge following. He's a Canadian who for 4 years has campaigned against giving children chemicals to stop puberty, so they can later change supposedly their gender. But what I have actually found most interesting about Billboard Chris is how people of the left react to a guy who's simply just standing there with his billboard waiting for a conversation. He's not in your face, he's not screaming. The intolerance to him is absolutely extraordinary, very telling. Angry leftists mobbing him, abusing him, kicking him, assaulting him with traffic cones. In Melbourne, in his previous tour.
Wow, look who looks the nutter in that situation, the vegan. Kleski, I've been trying to take up and learning the history of North Korea. I've been also thinking about wanting to potentially take a guided trip to North Korea. Interesting. Bolt is a knucklefuck. I just don't like his presentation mode, the method. But I mean, on that pause there, who looks more insane? The man holding the sign up saying nothing, or the vegan about to shove that vegan sign into his head? One of them's unhinged.
Mobbing him, abusing him, kicking him, assaulting him with traffic cones. In Melbourne, in his previous tour, shouting him down.
Wow.
I came here from Canada just to talk to you.
You're not welcome
Just to talk to you.
Go back to Canada.
I'm not going anywhere.
It's funny. It's funny if it seems like nowadays, if you disagree with someone, you can literally have them deported from the country just because you don't agree with what they say. Forgetting what the situation is and separating your opinion of whether he's right or he's wrong, or they're right or they're wrong, but the concept of having them removed from the country because you don't agree with them, like that chick going, "You're not welcome here." Well, actually, you are welcome here, as is everybody. Just because he says something that you don't agree with doesn't make him any more or less welcome in Australia. It just seems like, yeah, it's a crazy world, Shiloh. We're getting to that point now where, like, that woman doesn't speak for Australia. That "you're not welcome here." She doesn't speak for anybody. She speaks for herself. She should more accurately say, "I don't agree with what you're saying, and therefore I'm going to walk away because it angers me." That's what she should have said. Not "you're not welcome here." Who do you think who are you representing at that point? You're not Australia. You're an Australian.
I came here from Canada just to talk to you.
You're not welcome
Just to talk to you.
Go back to Canada.
I'm not going anywhere.
You're not welcome here. Go back to Canada.
Well, Billboard Chris is now back in Australia for a court case to overturn a decision by our anti-free speech.
Yo, Global, how you doing, man? Nice stream. Thank you, dude. So this guy came back to Australia for a court case? I didn't know that.
Well, Billboard Chris is now back in Australia for a court case to overturn a decision by our anti-free speech e-safety commissioner, Julian Mungrant, who she wanted to force X, and she did, to take down a post criticising the World Health Organisation for appointing to an expert panel an Australian woman, now identifying as a man after surgery, who Chris described, yes, a little offensively. But yesterday, ahead of this court case, Billboard Chris decided to chance his arm standing quietly in Brisbane's Queen Street Mall until suddenly police and a council worker accused him of obstructing people. Have a look yourself. Which people? Watch this farce.
Lots of obstruction going on.
Obstructing or unreasonably disturb any person lawfully using a mall.
Okay, so I've been told that my prohibited activity is that I'm obstructing or unreasonably disturbing any person lawfully using a mall.
Correct.
I have absolutely done no such thing. I was standing quietly.
You should get a job and, move on with your life,
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Example of
I
things
have
that
not
obstruct
done this.
users of the mall. This is because you're in this area.
So this guy that just came up to harass me, he's using that as an example of me obstructing people.
The dude walked up to him. You know what I think would have been really, really great if he had have done? If he had have said, "If I take the billboard off, can I remain?" I would love to have seen what the police said at that point. If I take the billboard off and put it on the ground and nobody sees it and it's just me, am I able to remain here? Because then, more than likely, the cop would have said, "That's going to be fine if you do that." And then the issue isn't with obstructing. The issue is with what the billboard says. I really wish he had done that. "If I remove the billboard, can I stay, sir?" You know that spot, Hendrik? Yeah, I knew you'd know where this was. Yeah. I mean, I've now not been in Brisbane that many times. I don't recognize it myself.
Now, Billboard Chris refused to move, given he was clearly not obstructing people. So it got worse.
Are you going to leave the area?
I'm not leaving.
So, as you've been directed, I'm acting Sergeant Jill Shandle from Brisbane City Police Station, so you've been directed that you need to leave, stop doing what you're doing because you're currently obstructing the mall area, which has its laws that...
Look at all that obstruction. There's so many people being obstructed back there. They can't go about their daily business. Good point, Ben. Yeah, I think that would have been a great thing for him to do. Because I have seen this. I saw this when it broke. I thought it was 2 weeks ago, but they're saying it's only 5 days ago. I feel like it's a bit more than that.
Sergeant Jill Shandle from Brisbane City Police Station, so you've been directed that you need to leave, stop doing what you're doing because you're currently obstructing the mall area, which has its laws that do not permit this action.
Yeah, Charlotte, anyone has the right to protest, 1 or 100. She's wrong. And by the way, he's not even protesting. He's just standing in a spot and people are approaching him. It's a very big difference. Again, whether you agree with what the billboard says or not, that's not the point. The point is he's standing in a mall area, a high thoroughfare of traffic. He's clearly not obstructing anybody, and he's standing still, and people are approaching him. I think that's the key thing here.
Okay, so we would now require you to leave the area. Okay? Are you going to leave the area?
So I've read the law, and I'm being told that I was obstructing people from their movement, which is not true. And I'm not disturbing anyone. I stand quietly, having conversations with people who approach me. And so I don't believe I'm in violation of that.
You are obstructing people, okay? So at this
How am I obstructing people?
It's been explained to you, okay?
Oh, that was a lie, but
Do you want to grab your things and leave?
No, I'm not leaving.
Okay. So we now have an hour to arrest you.
I love that he stood his ground. I love it. I love this. You haven't heard about this, Hendrik? It's hard to get local news. That's interesting, isn't it? This is literally Hendrik's town, Hendrik's city. He didn't hear about this.
And sure enough, Billboard Chris was arrested. Welcome, Chris, to Australia, land of free speech. Joining me is Billboard Chris. Chris, thank you so much for your time. What did yesterday tell you about Australia?
Well, I think, first of all, I love Australia. I love the people, and I get so much support out on the streets. People see a lot of the negativity because those videos go viral. But more than 90% of the people had a lot of love for what I was doing, and they support my mission to try to stop this child abuse. But there's certainly a bit of a nanny state going on in Australia. Censorship is much higher than back home in Canada, where I'm from. And we should be able to have conversations about anything in society, but when children are coming to permanent harm, those are conversations we especially need to have. And what was really telling about that incident yesterday was I was told I was the only person they have ever done this to on that public street in that foot traffic mall area, yet all sorts of other people have held signs there. They don't do anything to them.
Yeah. So obviously what went down was someone saw the sign, disagreed with it, reported it, made a phony call. He's obstructing people, or he's holding people down, or he's causing a ruckus. They came in and enacted that law against him. It's the equivalent of being swatted on a stream, right? Not quite as gnarly but it's someone calling in a phony call to the authorities. That's what happened. I'd imagine anyway. Which is why I still think it would have been so rad if he had have just said, "What if I put the billboard away?" That would have been great. That would have nailed. That would have the cops would have gone, "Oh, I think that'd be fine if you did that." Then he'd be like, "Gotcha, you idiot." So it's not me doing this. It's my sign. Gotcha.
Ultimately, this is because of my message, which is rather anodyne. It's not that offensive. I simply have a sign that says children cannot consent to puberty blockers, which is just about the most true statement you will ever hear.
It is a true statement. Children can't. Adults could, but a child couldn't, surely.
And you weren't charged either. What does that tell you?
Right. So they did take off my signs. They forcibly removed me, and then they released me because I think, and I know this from experience, I've dealt with police probably 300 times. I know that the vast majority of them agree with me. There's no such thing as a child born in the wrong body. The positive message we should be sending is that our kids are beautiful just as they are.
This is where I think he falls down. He's now getting into the specifics of the sign. I'd try to keep it more about what happened, not what your sign is saying, because you're never gonna win someone over with your message, but you can win them over with the basis of the law. And if they said you were obstructing and you clearly were not, and then you weren't charged with anything, you were arrested, you were like a cane toad. They relocated you. No, not a cane toad, because they put you in the freezer to slowly kill you. You're like a crocodile that they found in a river where there normally isn't, and so they took the crocodile and they relocated it to somewhere where the crocodile's allowed to swim.
No drugs or scalpels needed, but I think these police officers felt they were in a bind and they didn't really have a choice but to support this lying council worker. So I'm a man of integrity, as I said in my video yesterday, and I couldn't in good conscience bow down to this overzealous use of authority. And I think we have to take a stand, and we have to stand up for what's right. And I'm here standing up for the kids. I'll be representing the truth in a hearing next week, a 5-day hearing for a single tweet. So this is a fight for freedom of speech for Australians. And I think it would be rather hypocritical for me not to stand up for freedom of speech myself when I'm out there on the streets.
In defence of the council worker, he might have had no option but to do what he had to do, and I don't think his heart was in it, so I'm not going to call him names at all. But here's the thing, to your point, pro-Palestinian protesters have held a sit-down in that very same mall.
That's definitely obstructing people. Holy shit. You're definitely not walking through that mall at that point.
That you were accused of obstructing.
Mind you, that's
traffic.
nighttime.
They've even marched through it, causing all kinds of obstruction. You could barely move if you weren't part of that mob. None of them arrested that I know of. Do you feel picked on?
Wow.
No, I don't have a victimhood mentality where I ever feel picked on. This is just the state of the world today. Sometimes things are upside down, and what is bad is labeled good, what is good is labeled bad, and that's the situation with this.
Is that literally the same spot, Hendrik? You'd know, yeah. It looked like it. But I mean, it was nighttime, though. That's a slight difference. Wow. What an unfortunate pause I've got there. How does someone blink with one eye? That's a real unfortunate pause. Oh, he's got one eye slower than the other. Wow, that was bizarre. Huh.
A lot of people have been deceived. But I'm just going to keep doing what I do. I don't approach people. I stand there quietly. It's like fishing. I stand there and I wait for someone to approach me and have a conversation. I set up my tripod out of the way on the side by a pole. I stood there quietly. The council worker actually came up to me and he lied. He said that I'd been obstructing people's movement. He repeatedly said that I was infringing upon their movements. He said I'd stopped someone. But I record every minute of my time out there because I'm used to people lying about me. I also have to defend myself from attacks, and a camera is a good way to do that. But I'm just going to keep having one conversation at a time because it's working. And today I'm reaching millions of people every day, and we are putting a stop to this in various jurisdictions all across the globe.
Well, Chris, I
Intriguing.
really support you in this fight against the E-Safety Commissioner. She's been trying through some means that are, in fact, some criticised by tribunals, to stifle free speech on the internet. I think your case is an important one. And I'm glad that you've come back all the way from Canada to fight it. So we will be keeping a very...
I want to see what that case is all about. Does anybody have a link to what the actual case is? I'm going to type it up. Billboard Chris case. I wonder what the case is about. 1 year ago, 6 days ago, 4 days ago, Billboard Chris versus Australia. So the same. There's a lot of conversation about it, but what's he here for? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could type up court case. 11 months ago, 2 months ago. Look outside of YouTube. I mean, you know what? Old mate Chatus Jeepus Tius is the answerus. When all else fails, go to the artificial intelligent machine. Make it larger so everyone can see. What is the case Billboard Chris is in Australia for? Searching the web. Chris Elston, known as Billboard Chris, a Canadian activist currently in Australia to challenge a legal order issued by the country's E-Safety Commissioner. The order required the social media platform Twitter, or formerly Twitter X, to remove one of his posts. Oh, so they took a post down. which the commissioner deemed as cyber abuse directed at an Australian transgender man. In February of 2024, Elston shared a Daily Mail article titled "Kinky Secrets of a UN Trans Expert Revealed." He shared an article, okay. The article was criticising the appointment of Australian transgender activist Teddy Cook to a World Health Organization advisory panel. The E-Safety Commissioner determined that Elston's accompanying comments misgendered Cook and mocked his gender identity, leading to the removal order. Oh, poo-hoo. Somebody got hurt by words. They didn't use the right gender. That's what this is all about? Did I read that correct? The article was called "Kinky Secrets of a UN Trans Expert Revealed," and Billboard Chris shared the article, adding extra comments. We'll find out what they are in a second. The E-Safety Commissioner jumped in and determined that Billboard Chris's accompanying comments misgendered Cook and mocked his gender identity. That's all this is about. Holy shit. Billboard Chris, supported by organisations such as the ADF International and the Australian Human Rights Law Alliance, is appealing the order. In Melbourne, trial began yesterday. It's considered a significant test of free speech rights and government censorship fully. Okay, so we know about this. Okay, so what's the latest update? So that's all this is about? What a load of shit. He had to fly into Australia to defend a tweet? Are you out of your mind? What's going on this planet? Oh, get those out of there. Holy shit. Yeah, basically he flew back to Australia to defend a tweet that he didn't even tweet. He just shared it and then added his own comment. What was his comment? Let's ask that. What was the comment that he added? What were his comments added to the shared tweet? Shared tweet. Billboard Chris added the following comments to the shared tweet. This woman, yes, she's female, is part of a panel of 20 experts hired by the WHO to draft their policy on caring for trans people. People who belong in psychiatric wards are writing the guidelines for people who belong in psychiatric wards. Okay. This woman, so he's claiming that she's not a man, he's a woman. And that person is part of a panel of 20 experts. You'd have to work out why they're an expert. Are they an expert just because they're trans, or are they qualified in their field? To draft a policy on caring for trans people. You might argue that that person's qualified because they are trans. That's all the qualifications they need, maybe. That could be an argument against Billboard Chris here. He then said people who belong in psychiatric wards, so he's stipulating that this person belongs in a psychiatric ward, and those are the people that are writing the guidelines for people who also belong. Okay. Additionally, he posted, Teddy Cook is a woman who has promoted bestiality. Uh-oh, shit. Which is a crime in Australia. Sorry, I read that wrong. Teddy Cook is a woman who has promoted bestiality, advised that trans-identified people have better sex while high on drugs. Okay, well, that could be factual. The bestiality part is interesting. Is there any proof of that? These remarks were deemed by Australia's E-Safety Commissioner to misgender and mock Cook's gender identity, leading to the removal order of the tweet. I mean, there's no denying that he's mocking her. Misgendering is a little bit... That's a little unclear because they were born female. So calling... I mean, you got to respect the pronoun is what they're telling us, but the person was born a woman. So had he have put this woman, yes, she's female, comma, she was born a woman, that might have cleared him of all, You know, that's factual, right? He might have even been better off saying, this man, in brackets, born a female. That might have cleared him, right? Because you got to be careful these days. Like this is factual what he's saying. This part about bestiality needs to be proven, and then this part about trans people having better sex while high on drugs could also be factual. We don't know. Okay, is there any proof of the bestiality part? How do you even search that shit up? I don't even know how to spell that word. Bestiality. It's spelled best? Bestiality. Having sex with animals' kids, if that's what that means, if you're wondering. Is there any proof of the bestiality part? Because that's pretty key, right? Judge Gibbs, yes. So this person, Billboard Chris, accused Teddy Cook of Australia's transgender promoting bestiality. That's a big claim. His claims are based on Cook's social media activity, which he alleges included content related to bestiality, bondage, and drug use. I would suggest those three things are pretty separate. I mean, bondage, tying someone up for pleasure, using drugs for enhanced pleasure, and then having sex with an animal. Those are pretty different, those three things. It's a big step to go from one to the other. I mean, one to the other one's not bad, but then to get to that third one, shit, man, that's a big change, eh? You know, getting kinky with your loved one, tie me up, and have a sniff of this. And also, hey, Snowy, come in here. That's a big stretch. That's a huge stretch. So there needs to be facts, right? Teddy Cook this is another tweet. Teddy Cook is a woman who says she's a man, and she proudly posts porn, pictures of her mutilated body, and even bestiality on her social media. I mean, at this point in this trial, they're going to bring up those posts, right? They're going to have to show those posts to prove it. That's sick and disgusting, Klaski. Yeah, fully. If it's true. These allegations have been echoed by other individuals and organizations, so he's not the only one saying it. For example, Leo Saper, a fellow at the Manhattan Institute, referenced a Daily Mail article titled Kinky... That's the article, right? So this is the article. So it's in that article. Can we see the article? Similarly, the Coalition of Activist Lesbians Australia published an article expressing concern over Cook's influence on health policies, stating that Cook enjoys publicly expressing herself sexually in a range of sexual fetishisms involving bestiality, bondage, and drugs. So it's not just him saying it. It's important to note that these claims are based on interpretations of Cook's social media posts. Interesting word. So he hasn't, or she hasn't actually said it, but she's implied it. And it's been subject to debate. Direct evidence from Cook's own statements or posts is not provided in the available sources. So they're going to have an interesting time with discovery in that case, aren't they? Therefore, while these allegations exist, they're based on interpretations of the social media activity. Interesting. So does that mean that Twitter is going to be subpoenaed to actually go back in history and prove and show those posts? So I think the key things here is that these posts that Billboard Chris made, he's not the only one who's done it, and it's all based upon this article. Kinky Secrets of UN Trans Revealed. Can we find the article? Is the article online anywhere? Klasky, do you know one country that this will be banned? North Korea. I mean, I thought bestiality was illegal pretty much everywhere, right? The article titled Kinky Secrets of UN Trans Expert Revealed Bondage, Bestiality and Drugs was originally published by the Daily Mail. Now take that as you will, because that's a load of bollocks, that thing. While the exact publication date isn't specified in the available sources, reference... Shit. Oren Samti scared the shit out of me by subbing on YouTube. Thank you, man. Thank you for that. While the exact publication date isn't, references to the article appear in discussions and net reports from early 2024. Accessing the article directly is challenging as the specific URL isn't provided. Discussions about the article can be found on platforms like Mumsnet. Discussions about the article. Given the dynamic nature of online content, it's possible the article has been removed, no longer readily accessible. Most accurate information consulting the Daily Mail's archives or contacting. Okay, so the Daily Mail would have been subpoenaed as well. Then for this thing to go to trial, there would have all Twitter and Daily Mail would have been subpoenaed to provide that article. Surely, that's going to be the defense, right? So just to recap, what's going on here? This guy, this Billboard Chris guy, is in Australia, or he came to Australia to take part in this trial. The trial involves him tweeting out some information or some thoughts, some allegations were tweeted based upon this article. The article is no longer to be found. The tweets were removed by the Australian E-Safety Commissioner, and that's who the court case is against, the E-Safety Commissioner versus Billboard Chris. It's taking place today and yesterday, and it's a five-day trial, and it's all based around 2 tweets that he made. It's a lot of money going into that, a lot of thought, a lot of care. Is it worth all that hoo-ha for someone making a tweet? I mean, heavens above, how many obscure tweets are out there on the platform? Are they gonna be court cases for people making sketchy comments in a YouTube comments field? Because I've got a few cases I could bring about then, if that's the point. Klaysky, I mean, some hard allegations that if you don't have the evidence to back it up, that's considered defamation. Well, I mean, that's the basis of, from what I understood from reading that, the basis of the tweets that he made that were removed was centered around that article. So he was summarizing or retelling in 27 characters or less, whatever the tweet is. He was retelling the article, which no longer can be found. So the only way that he's going to be able to defend it is to get the article. So they're going to have to subpoena the Daily Mail. But that's interesting that he's here in Australia for that purpose, and then he just happens to do his thing as well. Like, I'll go out and stand on the street corner in Brisbane and get arrested. Like, it seems like a lot of hoo-ha, a lot of wasted resources for nothing, really, you know? The article is considered lost media. There'll be a server that holds it. There'll be some back. There'll be a Wayback Machine within Daily Mail. There'll be some kind of in-house clearance database backup storage that if they've subpoenaed them, they'll get it. And I feel like that's what Billboard Chris will have to use as. I mean, his only defense is, I'm quoting or I'm summarizing an article. The article was the facts. I was retelling those facts. That's, if he goes into the argument of whether he agrees with it or whether he believes it or not, that's almost irrelevant, because the tweet is him basically summarizing what was already out there online. So if he's going to cop a fine or get arrested or do time for tweeting, then so will the people that published the article, the Daily Mail, you'd imagine anyway. And nothing's ever lost once it's on the internet. It's always there for everybody to find.
I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm going to go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.